And one thing, if you can remember one thing, never continue to preach to the congregation for their needs and to influence them. Because the only thing you're going to reap is they will control you, they will influence you, and they will rob you of your purpose and your calling and your destiny, why God has placed you there. You are called to lead. Moses led the Israelites. Joshua led the Israelites. Moses didn't go among them and then listen to all their negativity, listen to all their concerns. We all know what they were doing. What's become of Moses, they said. How do we know God's still with him? They all were standing against the vision that God gave to Moses. Just if you think that your congregation, that the people have to believe in your vision and in your calling, only then can you move forward. If that's what you believe, you'll spend all your life in ministry trying to convince them, and you will achieve nothing. Only the Lord can change them. You cannot. It's not within you to change any man or any woman. You are only called to preach the truth, and your sole purpose for being where God has placed you is God has given you a vision and a purpose for that community. And that vision and purpose is all surpassing greater than your local congregation. And that vision you must keep your eyes fixed upon. Because if you lose sight of that and you keep your eyes fixed on something contrary to why God has called you to that place and that congregation, then you will be misled and you will never see God's promise and God's purpose being outworked in your life and be fulfilled. And you will feel you are a failure in ministry and in the call of God. As Paul said in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2, let us fix our eyes upon Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith. Guys, we are called to minister to Christ. Number one is your first call to ministry. You don't preach to the congregation. You preach to Him. He is your audience. He is why you preach. He is why you worship. He is why you live. Your eyes need to be on every message you preach. You are preaching to Him. Not them, to Him. Number one, your first call to ministry is to preach the word to Christ with our eyes fixed upon Him. Number two, your second purpose of why you are where you are is to minister to your husbands, to minister to your foes. Husbands, to minister to your foes. Ephesians 5:22. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave Himself up for her. Amen? Your first responsibility in ministry is to minister to Christ and preach Christ. Number two, your second responsibility is to minister to your foes. Your third responsibility is to minister to your children. That's your primary focus in ministry. And if those things are in line and you are upholding those principles first, then ministry flows out of those things being in biblical order. And it flows freely. Amen.